Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of me playing games. I really should come up with a name for this, shouldn't I? Anyways, for today I am going to show you Railway Empire 2. Now, for those of you that have never heard of these games or played them, basically you start a railway. You start a railway from the beginning. You can start, there's different years and stuff. I'll show you. There's different years and stuff. I'll show you that in a moment. And there's different ways of starting and everything. There's there's different types of different types of games. Sorry, it's late. There's also multiplayer. I've never played that. There's add-ons for it. Really, I like this game because it harkens back to a game I used to play on my IBM PC XT back then. It was called with MS-DOS, and it was called Railroad Tycoon, and it was by Sid Meier. And Sid Meier, we all know from the Civilization series. There were three Railroad Tycoons, and then there was something in between those and the first Railway Empire, because Railroad Tycoon 3 was early 2000s. And there's just something that's always allured me to, that's always drawn me to the rails, and I don't know if it's because, for those of you that don't know, basically they built the country at one point. There was no planes, there were no cars, right? And growing up near Chicago was a rail town originally, and it's really, it still is. Lots of cargo. Well, now Chicago's not just a rail town. Now it's air routes go through here for cargo and passengers, rails, and it was one of the only cities back in the day in the 1800s where you could have, through the waterway of the Great Lakes and through some channels, you can go from the Atlantic to Chicago, put stuff on a train, or in I think you were even able to take it like to barges onto the Illinois River, hit the Mississippi River, and go south from there or go west. So it was really a jumping off point for stuff, and that's probably part of why I enjoy playing these games. So enough about that. Enough about my old man hobbies. So let's start a new game. You can do a campaign, scenario, sandbox mode. Sandbox mode, it's like absolutely no challenge. Like, you just build. And I guess it's kind of nice, but I like a little bit of challenge. I don't like doing the campaigns. I've done them before. It's okay, Scenarios I've never really done. On the first game I did. So I always like custom. Now, the game, this is just a bone normal version of the game, and it comes with the whole map of the U.S., including some parts of Canada. It also has where you could divide it up in the West Coast, Mexico. Oh, depending on the year, I guess some of that is Mexico. No, by 1830 that was, I'm not sure. Anyways, Mexico, Rocky Mountains only, Great Plains. Generally, if you did the Rocky Mountains and you did it as a scenario, a lot of times it has to deal with the gold rush. But Rocky Mountains, Great Plains, Eastern Canada, East Coast of America, although it cuts off the bottom of Florida. The South, which includes the bottom of Florida. And then we move into Europe. And in Europe you have all of Europe. I don't know if you could... I think if you have enough money you could build a channel or something between England and France. The British Isles, Scandinavia, France, Italy, which I've always wanted to do. Maybe I should do it one day. The German Confederation, the Austrian Empire, and Western Europe. Well, we're back to where we started. Usually I pick North America. I'm more familiar with the cities and stuff. There's add-ons for it. One of them that just came out is India, which would be really interesting to get and try out also. But for now, let's start here. I usually pick Chicago, or I used to, but lately I've been wanting to do what ifs and can I make a city that wasn't Chicago big and popular? So the two options here are Madison and Rock Island. Now, Rock Island used to have a railway called the Rock Island Line, I think it was. So it used to have one. I'm going to choose that this time around. Let's see, we're using all of America and part of Mexico. Also, not all these cities exist. Not all the cities here exist right now. You have to found some of them as you go along, depending how you set it up. And I kind of like that idea. That's something that's specific to this one. Generally, I pick this engineer dude. I like being an engineer. I get 20% lower cost for tracks, tunnels, and bridges. He's unemotional, which is the opposite of me. Bonus from express trains is 5% instead of 10. I can deal with that. Let's see. Maintenance. All locomotives require 10% less maintenance. That's what I like about it. You probably can't read most of what's here because I think my camera box is right there. So let's just pick him. There are other selections. There's the gangster. It should change to that guy. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Vinny, what's up? It's funny, though, because I don't know if... Well, this story is he's in the Jewish mob, not the Italian mafia. If you have the game, you could read it. It's got his whole backstory. I didn't know there was a Jewish mafia. Good to know. Then you have the entrepreneur, who's a wealthy, who was born to a wealthy merchant, and left all the wealth to her. And they each have their own different bonuses that you could use, right? Maintenance is slower, but it's more safety conscious. 5% higher staff efficiency. The professor, I kind of like using him at times. So I like getting the locomotives cheap, which is nice. But then there's also less revenue from passengers and mail with him. The general, the guy that sells insurance. No, it looks like Grant to me. Track is even cheaper than with the engineer, but it's also because he's strict, and I'm not a real strict person. The lady, now this one's an interesting one because the lady, nothing of her skill set really has to do with anything relating to the rails. So if you want, one thing you can do in this game is you can kind of city build, you could also buy industries. So like if I start Rock Island has a brewery when you start the game. I know this because I've played it before already. In that, and nearby is a wheat farm. You could, in reality, build a station in both those, which I'll show you because I'm going to do it because that's one of the first ones I do. Connect them. You could buy the wheat farm, buy the brewery, and then connect Rock Island to, say, Chicago or Indianapolis or St. Louis or wherever else, and it'll you'd be making money selling the beer, selling the wheat. You'd be making money on the whole thing. You could also build buildings in the town, certain things like that, which is interesting. She's really more focused towards that. All new buildings within the city are 50% cheaper. Manufacturing, factory and rural businesses, upgrades are cheaper. She's definitely more that side of it, which I thought was interesting that they put her in here. I don't believe the first game had this many options. I want to say there was the engineer, the gangster, and I want to say maybe the entrepreneur. I don't really remember. Well, let's get the game started. So, signal mode. Now, this is something... So I actually started shooting this yesterday and decided to redo it because I had issues with the signal mode on the train tracks. And this is something that doesn't seem to work as well as the last game. The last game, if you had one single track and two trains on it, it pretended there was like a siding there and it would stop one train while the other one passed and then, pick up. This game doesn't do that. So you need to build multiple tracks, but then even if you have two tracks between a location, they want you to set the direction. Well, I set the direction, one going one way, one going the other, and I'm told the route's incomplete. And I don't understand why, because there's still two tracks. But then it's like, oh, because the route's incomplete, because when the train gets to the station, it can't turn around. So, like, Railroad Tycoon, I think 2 and 3, had a quote-unquote roundhouse in it. A roundhouse is where an engine would park, and it would spin and put it on a different track in real life, or put it in the engine house. So they have these other things. I can't think of the name. I'll show them to you when I build the tracks. I have to use them. The only way I've actually gotten it to efficiently work properly is build two tracks, build side tracks off those tracks, and then put these other pieces in with switches. Which I don't know if that's how they intended it to work, and I'm sure maybe that's more realistic, but it takes part of the casual gaming out of it, and this is really more of a casual game for me. I mean, I don't play it online. If I did, maybe it wouldn't be. Region concessions, no, I'm not going to worry about that. Yeah, why can't... Let's build that. Let's do that. Electrification, sure. Let's do that too. Why not? Let's see. One competitor's fine. Regular AI mergers. Mergers I'm gonna turn off for now. So mergers, as the game progresses, you could buy stock in each other's company, and I had the #1 rail system hands down in Railroad Tycoon 1, and somebody owned 60% of my company and hostily took it over, which really stunk. So sometimes I keep them on because I want to do that to other people. Sometimes I take them off. You turn on an inflation rate. Tasks, it's set to regular. When I start the game, I turn the tasks off. I don't care about them. Everything else I just kind of leave stock. And now we get to wait and look at this beautiful image. 3D rendered image. Graphics in this game are actually pretty good. When you zoom in on the cities, it looks pretty good. And there's vehicles moving around and stuff. I'll show you as soon as we get to our headquarters in Rock Island. Any minute now. Here we go.
There you are. You're up against the computer.
Don't want to listen to you. So, this is zoomed in pretty tight right now. The game's paused. I have $3 million to work with. Graphically, this is not too shabby. I mean, I don't know why I would want to zoom in this far on the town, but it lets you. And it looks pretty good. I was impressed. Whatever engine they use. For those wondering, the game's made by Calypso and Mind Interactive or Mind Games, something like that. And I think they did a really great job. I mean, the scenery, you could zoom in, and it's not even just a city. You could zoom in and go, oh, let's follow this roadway. And the tree, everything is rendered. So it's pretty slick. Alright, so let's get started. Now, I live in Illinois, and this here, I don't remember being this big. This mountainous area. So Illinois ends right about here-ish. And I've been to Rock Island. And the Quad Cities, Davenport, and all that, which are actually... And Rock Island's really more over here-ish, I think. To be fair. Sorry, if you know, you know. Alright, so, let's build a station. And that's this. Oh, actually, let's go to our research. So you get to research new things. Like, hey, seat upholstery. Alright, let's do it. And another reason I picked the engineer is these innovation points per month are higher with him than the other ones. And I like that. And this is the one engine that's available. You could custom paint it. Whatever you want. Make it however you want it to be. You know, sometimes I try doing like red, white, and blue, and it doesn't work out well or something. You can put an aging effect on it, or as they say, patina. This button swaps it for... You could... Oh! You replace all your locomotives at once? Oh, that's awesome. The last game did not let you do this. So if you want to replace all of them at one time, you can use that button. That's awesome. The last game, you had to go each individual one. Or I just never noticed the button. Alright, so Chicago's here. We're going to want to go there eventually. We're going to want to hook up at this place. St. Louis is down this way. And Indianapolis is over here. So, let's build our first station. Another thing that's different is the old game, the first game had where you could select, did you want a large station, a small station, or whatever. This one doesn't really do that, but if you notice, as I'm placing it, depending where I put it, well, basically all the stations are the same size, and it varies depending on how you want tracks to be made. So you can make all the you can use all the tracks or not, or whatever. So we're going to put this here, and we'll get a connection bonus eventually. Let's do that. What? Did it not? Alright. Apparently did not put it down. There we go. Okay, Cox Terminal. Alright. So now we have to put some track down. Now it gets interesting, because tracks always... Save those two to go down to St. Louis. Save those two just in case. Yeah, we could use these two. So if you plan, like I kind of over plan it, I guess, realistically, and it's more of like a me thing. You don't have to do that the way I do. You can just do it however you want. So I'm going to build double track here because it always seems to need it. Now, what I was talking about before are called gridirons. And what gridiron is it tells you place this on a parallel track near the station, and when trains come and go, they choose their own track at the station depending on what's being used. And it allows departing trains to arrive on any of the tracks selected or that are joined. It works until it doesn't. I know it's a weird thing to say, but I'll put them here, and at some point during the game, they will stop working. I kind of put them further out. I don't think you need to. It's just my preference. Another thing you always have to build after you build your track is you have to build one of these, a supply tower. Back in the day, and I think these will stop along the way too, for sand. Sand is used for traction to go up and down hills. Back in the day with steam engines, or steamies as they call them sometimes in certain shows, you need to also stop and get water and oil. So I put, generally, since this is a short route, we probably really don't need it, but I'll put it about halfway through just to have it. And that's good. How's this guy already started? The game's paused. Whatever. We go here, which you click on your station, and we got to expand it. We need to build a maintenance depot. I put maintenance depots at all my stations. It's costly, but it keeps, every time the train pulls into the station, it gets maintained. Well, if it drops to whatever the limit you set is. I like setting it to about 80. They take longer to fix or repair, but it's less breakdowns. It's just my preference. You can also add another building. Each station is allowed 2 buildings when you start off. I don't know if it ever expands. You can build a restaurant, market hall. Oh, that's kind of neat. A post office. Market hall's kind of neat, but it's 100 grand, so let's not do any of these right now. So let's close that. Close this. Even though Cox Terminal only has wheat, we're gonna expand it to maintenance depot, and cool. Okay, and then we're gonna put one train between here, because really, this wheat at some point it can't keep up with the demand of the train, or what your demand is. Like if you have too many trains, you'll have the trains just running back and forth empty. One of the older games, maybe it was Rail Tycoon 3, allowed you to check a box that the train would wait at the station until the cars were so much percentage full and then go, which was cool. This game doesn't do that. And really, why would it? Now, here's the funny thing. It's showing me that it's going to take that track only. Now, you can change the direction of the track by doing this. Now, I don't know if I need to do that. Here's the problem. If I keep it this way, we should be all good, right? Now, if I connect Indianapolis, I have a couple choices. One, I could have trains run straight from Indianapolis to Rock Island. Or two, I could just have them dropped off at the Cox Terminal, and then whatever trains between here will ferry them to Rock Island. That's probably what I'm going to do for this demo of it, because if I have the trains going straight through, I need to build sidings here, and because for some reason it's not smart enough to work how it should. So for now, we'll just leave it alone. Let's go back to building the train. Okay, did I do that already? I did not. That. Pick the engine. We only have one choice. Unfortunately, it is the Grasshopper. We're going to do one train, automatic loading, express loading. Not exactly sure what manually does. I don't know how to. I've never messed with it. Confirm. And we have our first locomotive running. Now, here's a brewery. Here's wheat. I could do this, and I could go, I want to buy this. But I got to start an auction for this. Now, I might be able to win it. It would be nice. But my competitor might. But I'll show you how the process works. So let's check mark here. Next bid is $423. Oh! No one bid on it. Awesome. So that's mine now. Let's speed this. I always speed this up too. When you're zoomed in, it's slower. The game runs slower. When you zoom out, it runs faster. You could turn that feature off too. Now I want to buy this brewery. Or I want to try to buy the brewery. Breweries. Woof. Let's go for it. Let's blow $1 million that we don't have. Awesome. So now I own a brewery and I own the wheat for it. So now to keep that brewery running, I need to get more and more wheat brought to it, right? But we're not going to worry about that right now. Now let's add Chicago's train station. They need a big city to sell my beer in. Oops, wrong button. Shift. I'm going to put it up here. The reason I'm going to put it up here is to clear that hill. I'm going to angle it a little bit too, because I also need to be able to go around the lake more efficiently. So if I go about there, I can do that. And what we'll do is we will take this bottom track here, and we will go... keep it kind of straight as possible. And right there. Why is it? Oh, I don't want to build a tunnel. So you can actually do this much more customized, like I'm doing. The reason I'm doing that is I don't want to build a tunnel and pay a bunch of money. It was going to cost me twice as much. And let's build the secondary one there too. Alright, so now there's two there, like the other track. We're going to put our gridirons in and hope they effing work. They never seem to, or they do, they just stop working at some point. I don't know if you need to put them this far out. You can put them closer, I'm sure. I don't think it really matters. And let's see, tracks are already electrified. We need to build this little guy. Let's see. Let me put it right about here. I think that's good. We also need to expand Chicago Station. It's funny, Rock Island's bigger than Chicago right now. Maintenance depot. Alright, cool. Now we will build a rail station, a train between those two. Chicago and Rock Island. Choose locomotive. I want to do two. I think I'm going to. Now see, this is the error message I was afraid of. So even with the gridirons on both sides... Ah, there we go. Now it's going. Oh, both of them are starting here. That's the problem. Okay. So once this one gets to a certain level or point, that one should go too. In theory. I'm curious to see if it's going to pick up beer at, Oh! Another thing, you can click this little button up here with the train, with the lines behind it, and there's all our trains. And it's going to tell us what they're going to make. So you see it's slowing down over here? That's because it's going up a grade. You actually zoom in way in on these trains, too. If you want to see what it looks like. I mean, that's pretty impressive graphically for the kind of game this is. I think it came out a year ago. No, end of the year. Something like that. I don't know how the engine efficiently runs with this much detail in it. So let's see, is it going to pick up any beer? There we go. There's some beer right here. Oh, a lot of beer. We're getting Chicago drunk before Prohibition hits. Now there should be two trains. There's that one. So now they should both be on separate tracks. If not, what would happen is one would hold at the gridiron while the other one clears, and then it would go. In theory, that's how it would work. In practice, on the other hand, that's questionable. So we got $650,000. There's not a whole lot we could do right now. Ultimately, we want to get to St. Louis. I'd like to do that before I stop playing. I think we can do that. Or at least maybe Madison, which should be pretty easy. Now, in the old game, I'd be able to just put a station here, join it to this track, and problem solved. It'd be great. But now, with the way the gridirons and the station signals work, I don't know if it would work properly. So I could build the station here, use 2 of the lines here, and then just connect Madison to that, which could work too. So, and have them stop there, have them stop here. Change. Well, I guess in real life you'd be changing trains, but we're making a lot of money in Chicago. So this one's holding until this guy clears. Allegedly. If anyone figures out how to actually work the gridirons or the signals, like I know keys 1 through 5 are supposed to control your train signals, like you could change them or add them, but every time I press 1 through 5, nothing happens. 5 deletes them all. They're always all still there. And I know Alt is if I want to change my direction. So if anyone knows how to do the other parts of it, I'd really appreciate getting some insight into it. All right, so let's see. We can build a new station. We can do it here. Let's get these resources. So you can look at your quarterly report. It tells you what you made. So it tells you how much in freight, how much in passengers, luxury passengers, mail, production. Production might be your businesses. Then your business expenses, quarterly results, investments, and what you may have spent doing other work. Investments. This is all the stuff we bought. Statistics. 15 days of delays. Yay, we're like United Airlines. You can look at your company. There I am. Tells you how many miles of track you have, all that kind of stuff. Let's see. You also go here. You see your competitors. Walter. Kessel Druck. Oh, from Germany. And it tells you everything about there's there. Eventually, when you could buy stock, there'll be a little. Oh, is this it? Well, that's merger. Yeah. Eventually, when it starts stock trading, you'll be able to press that and buy stock. You can buy a bunch of stock in their company and then take them over. You can also buy. You also play this market here, if you really wanted to. So, if you want to do city building, you could do city building to some extent. You want to play the stock market and the futures, you could do that. But you still do have to manage your railway to some extent. I'm going to see what happens if I do this. Actually, where's the gridiron at? There's the gridiron. Where's the switch at, though, for it? Way over there. Okay. So let's try it and see if it works. See, now I need to put another one of these here just for that, though. Which, well, it's only money. It's not my money. I mean, I guess kind of it is. So in theory, that should work. So let's see what happens when that train passes. So when this guy gets into the station, for sure, one of these other two should go. And it looks like the other Chicago one is going. And more stop is going also. Okay. Looks like a Mexican standoff. There we go. Okay. So once this guy clears, that guy should go. That one's on a different track. I don't know why he's waiting. See what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Everything's laid out where there should be no problems. I don't know why this one's waiting. I don't know why they're on the same track. Yeah, they're not on the same track. I guess it looks like it's working all right. I'd rather have the big cities be connected with, like, without having to have passengers transfer it. I don't know if it really matters. I mean, in the game, but I know in real life you wouldn't do it, or you wouldn't want to. Well, I mean, I guess back in the day they did, because they connected one city at a time, so there was always a stop. But at some point, they just had express trains that would go from, say, Chicago to St. Louis. Oh, let's see what we can buy anything yet? No, not yet. Getting there. Low freight. Oh, that's no bueno. Okay, so that's all running all right. I would love to connect Madison. I think I can. I just want to build the money up a little bit, and once it gets there, I'll connect Madison. They also give you newspapers, and the news is based off what would be going on at the time. How much of this is actual truth and how much is not? I'm sure this part is actually right, but this kind of stuff, no idea. It did say it's your daily dose of truth, so I mean, why would they lie? Our research is ready for something. Alright, iron fire tubes. Make the boilers cheaper and more durable. Let's do it. So you could you could go all the way in through the 1900s, maybe the 2000s with this game. So you could actually start at different decades too, or different years. So if you wanted to start later and not deal with steam engines, you could always do that. But in theory, in real life, things, I said in theory like 16 times today. In theory, in real life, the rails would have already been set by then. So I don't know. I think the game starts with different. I think there's different cities too, because they're founded after certain dates. I should have enough now to do the Madison connection. So let's give that a shot. So let's see. Ooh, there's wheat and beer here too. Now we can buy shares from the other competitors. I don't need to open this right now. I know I didn't. Let's do that. Now, track-wise, let's do these two. I don't have enough money to build the track? Oh, come on. Why not? Why does it need a tunnel there? Why? Why would you put a tunnel there? Jesus. Amazing how much cheaper it is when you don't build a massive tunnel. I mean, it's not like this grate's that steep. This is probably going to need 2 of these, which is going to really cut into profits, but, you know, we need to do what we got to do. So Madison does not have a maintenance shed, but I think we should be okay, because Rock Island has one. Choose locomotive, automatic, and confirm. Oh, the gridiron. Ah, the gridirons. Even though I'm only running 1 train. Man, it's funny how far out you can put these things. I don't think you get charged for these. That's nice, at least. There we go. So that should take care of any problems with multiple... I don't got the money right now. Dead broke. Good thing I only made 1 train. If you look, there's only 2 business passengers and some mail. Not regular passengers, even. So that ticking you hear is the auction timer. Just an FYI. Let's see what it says it made. It'll tell us right here in a second. 7 grand. I'm good with that. Man, I guess they wouldn't be bringing beer to each other, would they? Really? Wouldn't mind getting this connected. It's funny if you know Chicago's here, Rock Island's here, Madison's here. Milwaukee, Green Bay, none of that's here. I think we found them later on, but it's not there now. Grand Rapids is here. There's no Detroit. There's Toledo. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Parkersburg, never heard of it. Louisville. It's funny, we take certain things for granted, like the fact that Milwaukee's been here forever. No, guess not. So at least the Madison line's constantly bringing people in. That's good. Constant revenue from the Chicago ones. Constant loss from the Moore stop, of course. So I know it's not the most exciting game in the world, but if you wanted a casual game to play that had a lot of depth to it, if you really wanted to go that route, like you could do what I'm just doing and not bother buying anything. I mean, I bought stuff in the beginning to show you. And you know, if you just went 1 track to each place and 1 train and didn't worry about where you stood financially, like played sandbox mode, it's a nice casual, relaxing game. And you get to see like the rail technology over the years advance, which is kind of neat. For once, I'm actually happy about how my system is running. Well, my rail system. You know, I'm thinking with this train, I'm wondering, no, we'd have to go back to, no. You can put more than one stop, and I was thinking of having it go to Chicago, but there's no round route, like this only goes this way. So that would be a problem. Excuse me, sorry. Wow, my Madison train has made a good amount of money for me. Also, as time goes on, you'll see the cities grow. So, like, these little boxes represent what size the city is. You'll see the cities grow and expand around the tracks. And you get this groovy music. You can always turn the music off and listen to something else like the TV or whatever you want to, of course. There's no, like, rule set in stone that you have to listen to it. Or is there? No, I'm kidding. Let's see. And $90,000. If I put the wheat here, we're going to have to make Madison have a... Well, we can try it. Let's go for it. Might be the last thing I add tonight. For now, we will just connect it with one track. So if you notice, when I started taking a track off here, it was already $300,000. If I come off here, because it's a track that they automatically put in, way cheaper. Way cheaper. But I can't afford the train right now either. I don't think. Oh, you can name the trains whatever you want to. Aw, I need more money. Come on, I need like 26 grand. Really? I'm losing? Ah, no bueno. Alright, now in theory, the wheat it drops off is going to either be used in that brewery, or the next train coming from Madison to Rock Island will have wheat on it. So we'll see. I always take out a bond to build more, but usually I like to build as much as I can with what I have first and let it run a little bit. Ooh, up to 39,000. No, I don't care. Alright, moment of truth. Are we going to get some wheat transferred or just people? I hope you can see there's like, the arrow over when you go. Come on. Come on. Alright, let's see what it loads up. Oh man. Oh, I don't know if this actually's made any... Oh, it hasn't unloaded yet. Dope.
Another task checked off.
I had a task? I hate that guy. Wow, that wheat was $14,000. So when that train goes back, I want to see if it's going to have any wheat on it. I also wanted to get that repair bay here, or the maintenance building. We need 30 grand more. I'll open the phone. I'll open the phones. If you'd like to donate money to the Save the Train Foundation, we'd very much appreciate it. Where's that train at? Oh, it's going back to Madison right now. So I'm hoping to see some wheat on this one, because it's a mixed train. Yeah. Okay, come on, wheat. No, man, really? It's the only way I'm going to make money off that wheat is if I buy this one. But we don't have money for that. Oh, we can do this, though. Oh, now it just went under. Damn it. Ooh, I can build it now. And done. All right. Let's see what we can advance. Warehouse, that's helpful. But you know what? A new engine's always helpful. Alright, so we're making money here, we're making money here. I think that's pretty much all you need to know about the game itself. There's a few nuances here and there, and like I said, you can do all kinds of different things with it. But I'm going to quit, or I'm going to at least stop the video. You guys have the gist of it. If it's ever on sale, or if you want to pick it up, if you're interested in it, go for it. I enjoy it. I've sunk lots of hours into these kind of games. So I think it's all good. But hey, wherever you are, have a great night. Oh, one thing I keep asking you, there's a button somewhere here underneath the video. If you could click that subscribe button, that would be awesome if you like what I'm doing. And I don't know if it's morning, noon, night, whatever where you're at, but hey, happy morning, good evening, good morning, good evening, good morning, good night, whatever. Just hope you have a great day and enjoy yourself, and thanks for watching.